societies. Modesty and shyness both play a special part in the affairs of the Creator and the created. All the prophets and messengers encouraged modesty. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself mentioned that indeed from the teachings of the first prophets that has been handed down to you and which has reached you is that when you have no shame, then do as you wish. Modesty as a sense of shame or shyness in human beings is a shrinking of the soul from foul character, from foul conduct. It is a quality that prevents one from behaving badly towards others or encouraging others to behave badly towards you. And this is one of the traditions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Modesty in our communities, in our societies, is a virtue that encompasses more than just the way you dress. It extends to your behavior, it extends to your attitude, and the way you carry yourself in various aspects of your life. And in a world that often promotes self-promotion and attention-seeking, modesty serves as a valuable guiding principle for one and all. So what exactly is modesty? Modesty can be defined as the quality of having a moderate or a humble view of oneself and behaving in a manner that does not draw excessive attention or seek to dominate others. It is a characteristic that safeguards a person from lewdness. It safeguards a person from vice. And it encourages the soul of the person to become uplifted. It is about maintaining a sense of humility, a sense of simplicity, and a sense of decency in your actions and in your appearance. The definition of a modest person is someone who is humble, someone who is shy, someone who is not extreme, and someone who stays very, very far away from vice and from lewdness, and from those things that will degenerate the soul of that individual. In other words, modesty is not something that is only related to the outward appearance and clothing. In fact, it is more importantly a virtue, a very, very important virtue of the human character. Modesty is an attribute that is found only in human beings. And it is one of the basic differences between animals and human beings. Remove modesty from the equation, and mankind is reduced to the level of the animals or even below that. And Almighty Allah speaks about this in the Quran. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ. That they have been reduced to the level of the animals or even beneath the level of the animals. And today, unfortunately, in our societies and in our communities, we see a trend where modesty is tossed to one side. And that is something which is very, very detrimental to the growth of individuals and to the growth of communities as well. When there is no modesty, when there is no shame, then like the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mentioned a bit earlier, do as you please. If you have no shame for anything, then you can literally do as you please. And this has now become the norm in our communities, where you see individuals just literally doing as they please, saying what they want, acting how they want, dressing how they want. And we see the outcome of these influences in our communities and in our societies. So the first thing we must understand is modesty is, of course, associated with the way you dress. You are encouraged to dress appropriately, considering the context and the norms of the societies we live in. By dressing modestly, you show respect for yourself and for those around you. It helps you to avoid the pitfalls of vanity, the pitfalls of lewdness. And of course, it prevents you from excessive self-focus, allowing you to focus on more important aspects of life. It is important to also understand that modesty goes beyond clothing choices as well. It also extends to your behavior, your manner of speech, your interaction with others. Modesty encourages you to listen more and to speak less, to be humble in your achievements, and to recognize the contributions of others. It teaches you to be content with what you have and not to constantly seek attention or validation from others. And one of the most important benefits of practicing modesty is the cultivation of genuine and deep relationships. And that is where the role of modesty now comes into play with regards to ourselves, our family members, our community members, and the nation at large. When you are modest, you create an environment where others tend to feel comfortable and valued. By avoiding excessive self-promotion and self-praise, you allow others to shine and to contribute their unique talents and abilities. Modesty, most importantly, fosters an atmosphere of mutual respect and appreciation in our communities and in our societies. And that is something we must try to re-establish in our communities. In a world that is saturated with self-centeredness and constant self-praise that can be found through social media platforms, practicing modesty can be very, very challenging. So this morning, I want to just share with you a few pointers, a few practical steps that you can take to help you to incorporate modesty once again into your life. Number one, get in the habit of dressing modestly. Choose clothing that is appropriate for the occasion and clothing that reflects your values. Number two, practice humility. Acknowledge your strengths and accomplishments, but also recognize that you are not superior to others. Number three, avoid excessive self-promotion and excessive self-praise. And instead of constantly seeking attention or validation, focus your actions and your attention and your positive impact on the world around you. Let your work speak for itself. Number four, cultivate gratitude. Be grateful for what you have and avoid constantly yearning for more. Appreciate the simple joys of life, and also get yourself in the habit of listening actively. Practice active listening by giving your full attention when someone is speaking. Show genuine interest in others and their experiences, and avoid interrupting or dominating conversations. Whether you are a man or a woman, modesty should play a key role in anyone who calls themselves an upright human being. Why should you choose modesty? Because, of course, it shows others you have respect for yourself. And that is a very important point. It shows that you value a yearning for purity, and it will attract people who are interested for the right reasons. Sometimes you go through the course of your life and we attract the wrong people. You need to ask yourself the question, am I sending the wrong message? Through my characteristics, through my behavior, through my dress, through my mode of speech, am I sending the wrong message? And if you can adopt modesty, definitely you will attract the right people. And above all, it shows that you hold yourself to a higher standard. So in conclusion, modesty is indeed a virtue that encourages you to embrace humility, simplicity, and decency in your actions and in your appearance. It goes beyond the way you dress, and it extends to your behaviors and your interactions with others. By practicing modesty, you can create a more harmonious and respectful society where individuals are valued for their character and their contributions rather than superficial qualities. May Allah give us the understanding, and may Allah make it possible that once again we can have this beautiful quality reigning within the circles of our communities and within the circles of our nation.